Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is November 8th. Yesterday, I had to take my daughter to the doctor, so um, didn't get to do a video yesterday. But this market is just like low volume. It's at key levels. Um, Market pushed up a little higher yesterday, but we're waiting on something here. Market really came up really too fast, and it's just price action. It's just not. It's very odd. Um, so not a lot to talk about. It's just mulling around. It's kind of moving up. It's kind of just melting up, kind of a little bit, moving sideways. So it's very, very kind of blah right now. So uh, without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with gamma exposure levels and supply and demand, and the most traded price of the week, the month, the year, and the previous day. Um, That's how I find structure in this market. So that's never failing me. It's just that this market's waiting for something. So you can see it in the structure. So we'll get into it. So we'll definitely get into that. Subscribe, set an alert if you haven't already. If you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. And you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. And without further ado, we can get right into the watch list. In a couple minutes, my daughter's on a nebulizer, so I'm going to have to take her off it. So probably give me like a 30-second pause when that goes off. But in the meantime, let's just see what these features are doing here. So the dollar, it's not up a lot, but it's up 0.23. 30-year bonds are being bought. That should send the 10-year yield down slightly a little bit. The Dow is up 0.08, not much. Silver's up 0.07. Not a lot going on this morning. Remember, we got Powell speaking at 10:15, so market's probably waiting for that. ES up 0.05. Nasdaq's flat. 10-year yield doesn't report to 820. Gold is slightly down. Still couldn't crack that 2K. Russell's down 0.1. The VIX is down 0.14. Ether down 1.22. Bitcoin down 1.142. Crude is the little bit of a loser today. It is down 1.5%, down to $76 a barrel. So future CPI readings are going to like that. Okay. So moving on. Now, Roblox reported they beat earnings, so they're up. Man, I was looking at that around $30. I really liked it, even as the market was moving down. But since the market was moving down, it kind of made me not make any moves in that. But there you go. Uh, Snow's up 0.52. Nvidia's up 0.32. There's not a lot going on right now because probably Fed Powell's coming up. Bob is down 0.43. And let's see here. Give me 1 second. I am back. Sorry about that. Just had to change my daughter's nebulizer. Um, what was I at? Yeah. So yeah, Roblox. Good job, Rosita. I've been talking about Roblox for a little while now about how I like the chart, but I almost pulled the trigger, but didn't just because the market was like tanking at the time. Um, but good job. Let's see here. Disney's reports today after the close. They're at 0.31. Nothing really going on here. Laggard, Visa, Chevron, Exxon. Now, Chevron's been taking a bit of a beating as of late. I've dropped some slower a little bit. I'd be interested in nibbling on it. Um, that's what's going on. Interesting that Datadog got a downgrade today. That's interesting after having earnings. Um, Nice big earnings day yesterday. Um, let's look at the sectors. Up 0.21 on healthcare, communications, technology, and utilities is down slightly, down 0.28, and energy is the big loser, which is no surprise. Okay, so that's that. Now today, as far as the news front, the market's just trying to figure out what these Fed speaker central banks are trying to do. Because a couple Fed speakers were talking about war, how it could negatively affect the geopolitical concerns with the war. Markets really not believing any of that stuff. Um, but today, Fed Cook was speaking. Then you have Fed Chair Powell speak at 10:15. Everyone's going to be listening to that, what he says. All right, 10:15, of course, still in the meat of the opening of the market. Then you got Fed Williams 2:40, 3 o'clock Fed Bar, and then that doesn't matter. The Jefferson speaking after the market closes. Tomorrow you have Fed Powell speak again at 3 p.m. Bostic at 10:30, Barkin at 12. Initial jobless claims tomorrow. So 2 days of Powell. You know, sometimes, I mean, obviously he always moves markets, but sometimes it's muted. Um, but let's see. I mean, he's kind of been saying the same stuff, so unless he says something super hawkish or dovish, we have to see. Okay. What else was I looking at here? Yeah, it's basically like the Fed speakers have been speaking and kind of just saying higher for longer. Um, but the market doesn't believe that right now. All right. If we look at let's look at let's look at this here. So for the next Fed meeting at December 13th, so what are we at? Current rate is 525.50. 9% chance of a rate hike. Not really. They're looking for just still a pause. So no surprise there. Um, that's kind of it. With there's not a kind of there's not a lot going on right now in the news. Okay. So I mean we can look. Let me just see here. As far as earnings, so today Roblox reported after the close you got Disney, Walt Disney, we got AMC, Twilio, Affirm. So those are some decent ones. Rest of the week, I'm trying to see if anything is like the Win, Trade Desk, Plug. Nothing like super earth shattering that's reporting. Okay. Let's get right into the daily charts. There's not a lot to like really even speak about technically that much, all right, that I haven't already talked about. I talked about, so this is the SPY. So I already talked about big levels in the SPY. 437, 438, it's a big pivot level, right? You got a downtrend line here. You got the 100-day moving average at 439. The market, yes, you did big move up and kind of been melting up the SPY at least, right? Because you have this big consolidation right to the left, right? And you also have the swing low from the past over here. So that's kind of been holding the market in check. Okay, so we have to wait and see. This is what I expected this week. I expected some type of resting, and that's what kind of it's done. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of melted up a little to this to a little up. Nasdaq pushed a little higher, but it's kind of a wait and see. And I talked about 440 in the SPY, I would say, is a huge gamma level, and 4400 in the SPX. Those are just huge levels. Okay, that if they get tagged, it should bring in some resistance, but we have to see. That's kind of where we're at. I mean, right now the SPY is at 437. Let's just zoom in here. So 437. So it's kind of at the highs of yesterday. Okay. Now, like I said, though, you look to the left, you just have a lot of resistance here, support here, resistance here, resistance. So it's a big pivot level, that 438. Okay. It's actually last month's highs. Okay. So it's yet to be seen here. You got to take out this swing high here in order for this market to really get some legs on it. Okay, so that's looking at the SPY. Let's look at the Qs. So the Qs, very important, broke that downtrend line, this big downtrend line. So in the Qs, it has made a move. Okay, it has made the move. Now, so it broke the downtrend line yesterday. It got a resistance the day before. See that right here? So we can zoom in a little bit. So the day before it was resistant, and then boom, yesterday we opened here, pushed down, but we made it all the way up to last month's highs. Okay, and this swing high. So you see that swing high right here? That was the resistance, 373. Okay. So you need to now, in order to change the trend, you need to take out this swing high and then make a swing low of your own over here to see if you can bounce higher. Okay, so 373 is a key level. 370, call it 374. Okay. Now, what else did you take out? You took out the most traded price of the year in the Qs. Okay, so if we look at over here, most traded price of the year in the Qs is like 364, 365. You kind of bypassed it, and now you're over here. A lot of trading. That's the most traded price of the year here. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on with the Qs. Okay, now you can see in the Dow is a little different story, right? Just wanted to show this real quick. That's been sideways, right? This is big resistance at 342. It's just been hitting it, hitting it, hitting it, right? Huge resistance. You look to the left here. That's a big pivot level in the Dow, 342. Okay, so that's been just going sideways, and the IWM has been not even moving up. Look at this. Big red day here. Yesterday went down a little more. So the IWM has actually gotten weaker. So it's just, this market is it's very insane. It's just like you have the Dow and the Russell just still being laggards, right? So, but let's look at the triple-headed. Let's get into the triple-headed monster here. And that's a 10-year yield, the VIX and the dollar. The 10-year yield. Okay, so you had this big consolidation. Boom, you broke it. Right now, it's really all about this 4.48 yield support here. Can it break, or do we bounce and go higher? Now, obviously, if it breaks, the market should have a rally. Okay, should, right? If it starts to go higher, it's going to put weight on tech stocks. And a lot of what Powell's going to say over the next 2 days possibly can move this. So we have to see. Very important. Okay. And that VIX is down to 14.79. Okay. Big drop off. Okay. Underneath 15. So a lot of the fear just came out of the market, right? So notice that. Now we go to the dollar. I mean, the dollar is getting some love right now. Okay. You can see consolidation right here. Okay. Big consolidation, and we broke that right here. And now look, we're gonna, if we start to head back into this consolidation again, right? You came all the way down to 104. Now you're starting to push up. Okay, if you push up, you're probably going to go to 106.74 and hit that resistance. So same thing, stronger dollar, not good for commodities, not good for equities. Stronger dollar, not good for metals. Okay, so this is all dependent on what Fed's going to say. Okay, all dependent on that. All right, let's get into the market profile. All right, let's do that. My daughter's coughing her head off behind me. I hope you. Right, this is just honestly not that exciting. Okay, let's look at it together. Okay, let's look at structure together. Okay, so what do we have here in the last rolling week, right? Came from all the way up here, right? We have a gap. Now the bulk of the trading has happened right here, right? That's the value area right here. 70% of the trading has happened in that area. Okay, now we're starting to establish some volume right here. Okay, and we don't have a lot of excess here. It's kind of flattish, right? Now this orange profile is for the last 30 days. So, but I like to look at the most traded price of the week's profile. I mean the last rolling 5 days profile. So this is the profile for the last rolling 5 days. Okay, so you have excess coming up here, and now you need excess to complete it. So a completed profile would probably bring us up to here. Okay, so we're queuing up. Okay, now as far as levels here, 43.80 is the monster level. All right, that is the most traded price of the week. It's the most traded price of the last month. So we're kind of an ultimate balance here. Okay, because what happened is we moved down, and then we moved back up quickly, so quickly that we went right back to the most traded price of the month. 43.80. Sorry about that. All right. So that's the most traded price of the month and the week, 43.80. Okay. Right now the market is holding above this level. Obviously that's bullish. That's bullish structure. Okay. So that's what the profile is showing us. Okay. So now you can just see it's malaising around here. All this trading, right? And then finally yesterday kind of like made a little break, but didn't break that much, and then it kind of is like hanging around here, right? All this is bullish structure. It's just not super volatile, and it's not, the volume's low. Okay, so let's look at how we stack up this morning. And again, like I said, it's not very exciting. There's not a lot of edge here. So we have yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay, overnight low, overnight high. So you have the price right here at 43.98. Okay. Of course, this market could just boop, right? I would like some more queuing up of energy to join any kind of long. Okay. So the basically the level to look at is the 43.80. Okay. That's what you need to look at, because we're holding yesterday's prices at the most traded price of yesterday. Everything, all that's bullish. Okay, all that's bullish. So if we come up to here and create a weak high, then you can take this out, possibly go up. Okay, but I'm really gonna sit here and be patient. Okay, so let's look at a scenario. Okay, so on the scenario here, what I'd be looking at now, you have some single prints here from yesterday, right at the bottom here. Okay, so what I would like to look for is even a little push up, gets met with some selling, comes down here and tests the 43.80 level. Now this would be included if it just dips in this demand zone. Okay, so it could even dip in this demand zone, and then if it doesn't find acceptance below it, this is the structure you have to lean on. If it starts to hold it, that will fuel the move. Okay, at least to yesterday's highs, and then you got a supply zone starting around 44.18 or so, and you have a gap above us. Okay, that's what I would see to be like, okay, that makes sense. You get some liquidity from here to fuel your move higher. Okay, very basic. Now as far as the short, right, I'm not a super fan of like right from here, but like you have to talk about it, right? So again, same thing, push up. If you want, use the most traded price of yesterday as your little line in the sand. If you hold underneath it, you probably go back to 43.80, like I said, that monster level, and maybe even dip your toe into the demand. Now, if you hold and take out this demand, let's say you take out this demand and you hold under here, hold. Well, there's a possibility you can break under this and fill this gap. This is just a scenario, right? I don't know if that happens or not. But if you did hold under here, take out this demand, you have a good opportunity to then reset the market. Probably might even be like more of a liquidation break and come down here. Okay, markets went up very fast, and this is a scenario. I don't know if it happens or not. Okay, all right, that's looking at the ES. Now let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay, now remember, Nasdaq pushed up a little higher than the ES did. So let's look at that together. You can see it's different. It's not like it's pushed up a lot more than the ES did, right? So let's look at our structure. All right, so you have, this is what our profile looks like. Okay, so you have a little different setup in the Nasdaq. Okay, now remember, you broke that downtrend line in the Nasdaq. You went over the most traded price of the year, which is right here. So a lot of bullish signs in the Nasdaq. Okay, all right, so we have a couple main levels here. So we have 152.10 about is the most traded price of the week, and you have the most traded price of the month. Still down here. It's probably going to move up here today, but still down here at like 151.15. Okay, so we're all above that in the Nasdaq. you can see that the ES is a little more imbalanced than the Nasdaq. All right, you can see the balance was here, and that was broken yesterday. Okay, ES, like I said, only marginally moved up. Okay, now you have Nasdaq from that move. You have single prints in the middle of the session, single prints at the bottom of the session. Okay, in the Nasdaq. Okay, so we're above the most traded price of the year. All right, all and above the most traded price of the week and the month. So the week, the month, very bullish structure. Okay, now we're starting to build out value here, volume here. Okay, queuing up for a move. Okay, so what do we have? We have our yesterday's high, yesterday's low, overnight low, overnight high, and this again, not a lot of edge here, right? Because the only edge you see is that the market's strong, right? Because the market closed here, and prices is right at the close. It just means the market's accepting the higher prices. Okay, that's what that is. All right. So very, very similar plan, but not exactly right in the Nasdaq. Okay. Now we have Powell talking. I don't know what he's going to say that's going to cause volatility or not. However, let's just look at you know some levels that we can look at. Okay, based on the profile. Okay, so this is a very balanced profile overnight. That doesn't tell us really anything at all. Okay, but we know we have a huge level here in the most traded price of the year. Okay, that's going to be the line in the sand. You got single prints along with that. Okay, so normally single prints don't offer much support. They should get blown through. Okay, then you don't have single prints, but you have very thin volume here. This is not good foundation right here for the market. If the market pushes down into it, it's not good foundation. Okay, very thin volume. You can see it. Look, very thin. Okay, so this is the test. This is how you judge how strong these buyers are later on. Okay, so you want to see, it's very easy. Okay, if single prints become supportive and weak structure becomes supportive, that's bullish. Okay, and if it holds it, you're going to want to join the ride. You're going to want to join that ride. When single prints that are not supposed to be supportive become supportive, that's bullish. Okay, and what happens is price action could really swiftly clean these, but then all of a sudden get some higher lows, and next thing you know, boom, sellers are on their backs and the buyers take over. So very possibly that could be the move today. Okay, now conversely, in a bearish scenario, okay, you did hit supply yesterday right here. Okay, your most traded price was right here of yesterday. Okay, so now a couple ways you can look at that here. You can push up into the supply, get some weakness. You can hit the most traded price of yesterday, and then you're going to go for this big price here. All right, and that's where I just said before. Now, I said if single prints are supportive, that's bullish, right? Well, that's also the other side of the coin was when they're not supportive, and this is bad foundation, right? You could literally get some volume and weakness, and boom, take all these out, take all that weak structure out. Okay, right here, boom, and you come right back to this price here, about 152. And overall, this would be kind of healthy pullback. Okay, doesn't mean the market's now going to go down. This is just intraday move. Okay, but this definitely could happen. Okay, market doesn't just go up forever. But this is a scenario, right? I don't know if this happens. But if you do this, this should happen. This weak structure should come down. All right. Now, I don't know what catalyst it's going to happen, what's going to make it do that. It's always a combination of fundamentals, right? A news catalyst, or just straight up technical analysis with, buyers and sellers. They go hand in hand. So that's what I kind of see here. Okay. Um, Pretty simple plans, but like pretty much how you have to see the market. Now, this is never easy in real time to be like, oh, because you could see, the market come down and rip down here, and then all of a sudden get a foothold in these singles, and you thinking, oh my God, everything's selling off, and then boom, right? So it's really, it's not easy, but you have to base it on the structure, not price action. Okay, so that's that. We can look at real quickly the structure of where we're at, and you can easily see, the high volume nodes here. Where's the market right now? Right here, right? Right in this high volume node. Right? We moved from down here and we bypassed, which was surprising, right here, the most traded price of the year. We just ripped right up to here. Right? And if you look to the left, you got a lot of trading that happened here around the 4400 level. All right, remember I said 4420 is the pivot right there. That's that pivot level. So that's the level where the market's going to make a decision. 4420 in the futures. Okay, because if you pop above it, you're most likely going to go around here. That's probably like 4460. Major support level. And then another major level is 4500, which is right here. And you can look to the left. You can see the bunch of trading that's happened there. I can actually, let's move it to the left so you can see that how much trade went on there and why it would be a stop, right? Right here. You see how much trade? This is the previous month's most traded price, 4,500. That's why that should stop there. The market should stop there. Okay. This is just a nice way to look at overall structure in the market. Okay. This is the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ, you can see right here, right? It was 2 weeks in a row, the most traded price down here. And then what happened? You just pushed away from it, and we went right up to the most traded price of the year. 152.97, call 153. That's why the market's there. And you got another big node right up, not too far ahead of it to stop it, right? So, market could move to here, move back to here, move back under to here. Who knows? Like I said, it's just in a place right now, the Nasdaq, where it's got a lot of overhead supply here. So I don't know how much more legs this has, and that doesn't matter because the market does what the market does, right? So, you can look at it here. You can see the profile with the most traded price here, and you can just see we're right at this swing high right now, right? And in the ES, this is the futures, right? Bypassed the most traded price of the year, but now we're at this level and this swing high. So we're at just a crucial part in the market, right? And there's that 44.20 right here. And if you look to the left, okay, look, you have resistance, support, support. That's why it's a big pivot level, 44.20 in the futures, okay? 44.20 in the futures, 4,400 in the SPX, and 440 in the SPY. That kind of all go together, okay? Big gamma level there, right? I expect to touch and get some resistance and then have to see what happens with it, okay? All right. So that's going to be it for me today. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed the content here. Give me a thumbs up. You could also subscribe, set an alert for future videos. And you can also follow me on social media at Gonzo719. All right. So, like I said, there's a plan. Just have to sit back and wait to see if that plan comes to fruition. I'm not about to go long at the top of a range. That doesn't really bode well for my style. So we just have to sit back. Really have to sit back. And Powell speaking at 10:15. So you're probably gonna get some decent trade off the open, and then it's gonna die. And then we're all gonna be sitting waiting on what Powell words, what he says, right? Because they kind of been reiterating the same thing, the Fed. So we'll have to see. All right. I wish everybody good luck today. Stay green, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.